If you're like me, garlic is a staple in our cooking at home, whether we're making pesto or whether we're doing pasta sauce, or if we're roasting potatoes. We use garlic for so many different things, and when you can go out and you can harvest your own garlic right out of the garden and use it when it's fresh, there's just nothing like it. And the great thing about growing your own garlic is we have so many different varieties here at Anderson Seed and Garden. Instead of just being able to go to the grocery store and just buy whatever's on the shelf, because usually they have a variety there that's called Gilroy, and Gilroy's a really good garlic, but there's a lot of other ones out there that have a lot better flavor and a lot richer, fuller flavor, and I've really got some favorites that we carry here at Anderson's. Now, the best time for planting garlic is from about the first part of September until the ground freezes, generally in November, sometimes the first part of December. So that's your window of planting, and we let those winter over and come up next year. They'll actually start growing in the fall, and then they'll come up like first thing in the spring. They'll grow all summer, and then you can harvest them in July and August of the next year. So it's a full 1 year life cycle to get those garlic to really produce well. You can plant them in the spring, but they just don't produce nearly as well as they do if you plant them in the fall. Now, there's soft neck varieties and there's hard neck varieties. Now, the Gilroy that I had mentioned before, the Gilroy is a soft neck. Now, the soft necks, it looks like a traditional, clove of garlic, or bulb or head of garlic, whatever we want to call it. But the stem is really soft and flexible. And as you open that stem up, there's not like a hard stem in there. It's just soft all the way through on the Gilroy, and that's what distinguishes the garlic between a soft neck and a hard neck. So the soft neck, when it dries, it doesn't have a hard stem in there, and there's a lot of great soft neck varieties out there. Gilroy's one. The French Tarn, beautiful cloves. Look at that. I mean, the comparison in color. Really a different look to them, and a different flavor as well too. Obviously they all taste like garlic, but you do get some different subtle nuances and some different heat or some different strength out of the garlic flavor. But look how attractive the French Tarn is, but it's also a soft neck variety. What really sets the soft necks apart from the hard necks is they keep really, really well. So generally a soft neck variety will keep 5 to 8 months if you store them properly. So they'll really keep well, and in some cases you can keep them almost to the point of when you're harvesting your new ones for the next year. So they'll almost, sometimes keep 10 months by the time you're like ready to harvest again. But I've got probably 5 different varieties of soft neck varieties here at Anderson's right now, and they are your best keepers, but they also have really good flavor as well too. The hard neck varieties over here, we've got Music, which is one of my favorites, and then I've also got Ukraine, which is a little bit different color. So Music, really large heads, and the Ukraine has that little purple skin to it too, so a little bit different coloring to them. But the hard necks, what really makes them different is they've got this really hard stem right down the center of the bulb. So if you can see, as I peel that back, it's got this really hard, very firm head stem to it. And what you would want to do when you're planting the hard necks, and really the hard necks, they keep well, but they don't keep as well as the soft necks. So we're talking 3 to 5 months, maybe 6 months on your hard necks. So they still keep really well, but they don't keep as well as the soft necks. But the flavor is just amazing on the hard necks. So to break these heads apart, basically you can just like grab that stem and just separate them with your hands. So we can break those apart, and you've got some nice colorful cloves in there. So you can see that stem right there. That's the hard neck. So there's no more pieces that's going to come off of that. That's what really makes it a hard neck, is you've got these really hard stems in the garlic. But as you break those cloves apart, this is how we're going to plant them. So what I do is when I get out in the garden and I'm going to plant my garlic, I'll separate my individual cloves out. So we've got 3 cloves there. I'll take my handy dandy trowel, and this comes with a nice holster to it. So this is a really nice trowel, and you can do a lot of different things with it. But I basically take my trowel and I will stick it down into the soil, and I'll just basically move it back and forth to just make about a 3 to 4 inch hole in depth. And the great thing about this trowel is it actually has a ruler on there as well too, so you can see where 2, 3, and 4 inches are right on the trowel. So if I want to shoot for about 4 inches, I can stick it in there and say, oh, I'm about 3 to 4 inches right there. Wiggle it back and forth. I'll take a slow release fertilizer like bone meal, and the bone meal lasts for multiple years, and it's great for encouraging root development, and it's wonderful for garlic. So I'll use the bone meal, and I've got a bag that I tore open already right here. About a teaspoon of the bone meal right down in the bottom of the hole, and a lot of times I'll just kind of work that back into the hole with my trowel, so that fertilizer is there. When the bulb starts to grow, the root system will go down into that fertilizer. Then I'll take my cloves, and there's a pointy end up on top and a root end on the bottom, and I'll just drop the cloves down in there and straighten them out so that they stand up, so the tip's coming up, and then all I gotta do is just cover them up and water them. That's like very, very important. A lot of people forget, once you get them planted, make sure you water them really well and keep them moist through the fall so that they will get that moisture that they need to develop a root system before winter sets in and the ground freezes. So when I water them the first time, I water them with my Kangaroo Roots. Now the Kangaroo Roots helps develop faster root system. It will get them established much quicker, and it has all the beneficial microbes and mycorrhiza in there to make that root system and the plant eventually as healthy as it possibly can be. So we're building up the soil with the Kangaroo Roots and making it a perfect environment for those roots to just flourish and take off like crazy. I'll water them with the Kangaroo Roots. This is concentrated, so we're going to use a teaspoon, actually 2 teaspoons per gallon when we water, and I'll do it the first 2 or 3 waterings and make sure that's really well watered. Has a lot of fertilizer in there for them. We've got bone meal down on the bottom, and that's pretty much it. Next spring, that bulb's going to just take off like crazy. We're going to have garlic, and if it starts to flower, if you see those purple flowers showing up on top, or the flower pods, cut them off. We don't want to see the flowers on the garlic. We want that strength to stay down on the bulbs, and that's about it. Garlic is really, really easy to grow. I've got 15 varieties here at Anderson Seed and Garden. All it takes is a little bit of time, and if you don't want to plant them, you can come and eat these as well too, and they're absolutely delicious. We made pesto with them the other night, and what rich, wonderful flavor comes off of the garlic, especially when it's fresh this time of year. So get out there and get some garlic planted so you can enjoy it next year yourself.